Download this code and get free GPT-4o from codegive.com, link in the description below. Custom error logging in Power Automate can help you track and manage errors more effectively in your workflows. By implementing a structured approach to logging errors, you can troubleshoot issues and gain insights into your automation processes. In this tutorial, I will guide you through the steps to create a custom error logging mechanism using Power Automate, along with code examples. Step-by-step guide to custom error logging in Power Automate. Step 1, create a SharePoint list for logging errors. 1. Create a SharePoint list. Go to your SharePoint site. Click on New and select List. Name the list, example error logs. Create the following columns. Error ID, single line of text. Error message, multiple lines of text. Error time, date and time. Flowname, single line of text. User email, single line of text. Step 2, create a Power Automate flow. 1. Create a new flow. Go to Power Automate and click on Create. Select Automated Cloud Flow. 2. Trigger the flow. Choose a trigger for your flow, example when an HTTP request is received. 3. Add actions to your flow. Add various actions that you want to perform. For example, you might want to call an API, send an email, or work with data from a SharePoint list. Step 3, implement error handling. 1. Use a scope action. Add a scope action to group your main actions. Inside the scope, add the actions you want to perform. 2. Configure error handling. Below the scope, add another scope action for error handling. Name it error handling. Configure the run after settings for this scope to run on failure. 3. Log the error. Inside the error handling scope, add a SharePoint, create item action to log the error in your SharePoint list. Configure the action as follows. Site address, your SharePoint site URL. List name, error logs. Error ID, use the expression GUID, to generate a unique ID. Error message, use the expression outputs, scope, body, error, message to capture the error message. Error time, use the expression UTC now, to log the current time. Flow name, use the expression workflow, .name to capture the flow name. User email, use the expression trigger outputs, headers XMS user email to capture the user's email. Example, complete flow structure. Here's an overview of how your flow might look. 1. Trigger, when an HTTP request is received. 2. Scope, main actions. Action 1. Action 2. 3. Scope, error handling. Run after, set to on failure. Action, SharePoint, create item, to log errors. Example expressions. Here are some example expressions you can use in your flow. Generate a unique error ID. Plain text. GUID. Capture the error message. Plain text. Outputs, your _scope _name, body, error, message. Get the current time. Plain text. UTC now. Get flow name. Plain text. Workflow, .name. Get user email. Plain text. Trigger outputs, headers XMS user email. Step 4, test your flow. 1. Run your flow, trigger an action that causes an error. 2. Check the SharePoint list, look for a new entry in the error logs list that captures the error details. Conclusion. By following the steps outlined in this tutorial, you can implement a custom error logging mechanism in Power Automate. This will help you track errors effectively and improve your workflow's resilience. You can further enhance this logging mechanism by adding additional columns to your SharePoint list or integrating it with other logging systems like Azure Application Insights or custom databases. Feel free to modify the steps and expressions to fit your specific use case.